You're welcome. We're holding in Menachos Taf Kov Ches. We're starting in the Mishnah in Amud Aleph. Zok the Mishnah. Shiva Kanei Menorah Me'akvim Zedzim. We know the menorah has 7 branches to it. They are me'akvim. You must have all 7. Shiva Neruseo Me'akvim Zedzim. The menorahs are the actual candles. So you have to have the branches is the shape of the menorah. The candles is the actual oil and wick. Also back. What? All connected together, right? But it's 7 branches coming. It's one thing. Mikshachah. The boys gonna say that in a moment, but it's have to have 7 branches. Now continue on. This is how we start to shift it to other inyanim. Mezuzah, you can't have only one pasha. You have to have 2 pashas. Even one word or pasuk is makif. Tal pashish with tefillin makif. The 4 pasha is tefillin also. You need to have all 4. Even one thing is missing is a vehicle. Dal tzitzir is makif. The dal tzitz says that you have to have 4 different corners. You can't have only 3 or 2. Sharbos or mitzvahs. The whole considered to be one mitzvah. We'll see the Gemara will be the nafkamina. That's later in the sugis. But in this daf, we're going to be focusing on the menorah. My time, wine is me'akev. You have to have all of them. Havaya ksiv bu. It says havaya you. Loshon havaya me'akev. So the Gemara is like this. Torah baron min noyur isobo min eshes. Eshes is what you mentioned. It's a mixture. I mean, it's one piece of metal, and they framed it to be at the 7 branches. Uminazov has to be done out of gold. Asor mina grutois, if you made it out of small pieces of gold or metal, and now one big piece, psula. It needs to be one big piece. Mishar mina matochos, if you did it out of gold, you made it out of silver, meaning other metals, then it's shehu. So 2 halachas, what is me'akev? What is that? Mikshar is me'akev. The gold is not. Says the word why? Pieces of metal psula. Miksho ve'avai. It says miksho means one piece, and it says avayo. It needs to be without change. Shami matoch is nami zo ve'avayo. Also it says gold. It says you. So it needs to be gold. So why gold is not me'akev? It could be other metals. The word ti'oseh tells you it could be done with other metals. The Arab's Gutoris, who said David's going to tell you can do small pieces. Looks like it says havayo on the word miksho because it says miksho te'oseh menorah, and then after it says the word yiyu. So a miksho ksiv havayo te'oseh nami a miksho ksiv. Yeah, but it says te'oseh also miksho te'oseh menorah. Te'oseh comes to the grab. Says the Gemara, miksha lakiv. It says miksha twice. It says me'akiv. Says the Gemara, zov lakiv. It says zov also twice. Menorah zov. It says kike zov tar. Hartman. Says the Gemara, okay, I'll tell you. Iomai bishlo amina gut toys psulo. Mishar medal chero. Hainu zov. Miksha Josh. I understand what I allocate. Each one of the zovs and the mixtures that we'll explain in a moment. Meaning, but the more really the short answer is, we have extra words. Trace puts out over here. The word zov is mentioned 5 times. The words get addressed 3 of them. We have extra word zov and extra word mixture. Each one of them teaches something. By mixture, it teaches you this back. By zov, I have other libudim. Now, if you're going to tell me the opposite, that Zov is Be'akiv, and make sure that I won't be able to use everything. I'm going to be stuck with my drushes. In other words, I have set up the drushes in a way that I know why I have extra Zov. It's for other purposes. And I have the extra Miksha to tell you that it's Be'akiv. My drusha. Tanya Kika Zov Tor Yasel Yisos Kolokim Hele Bo Zov Bo Kikor and a Bo Zov and a Bo Kikor. This size of kikor, that's the size, that's the weight, is only if it's gold. If you're making it out of silver, then you don't have the din of a kikor. That's what it says zov again. Kikar Zov to tell you it's only when it's Zov requires a kikar. If it's not Zov, it doesn't require a kikar. Now, in the other pasuk we learned, the Zov the rich before Midori Zov, it says over there, Gviyeyo, Kaftareyo, Procheo, which we'll address in a moment, which is different designs they have in the Midori. But Zov, if it's called, Gvi, Kaftareyo, Procheo. These designs you make on a golden Midori. Ain't a Zov, it's not a golden Midori, if it's a silver Midori, or a metal Midori, ain't a Gvi, Kaftareyo, Procheo.
Where do we learn Shaman?
What do you mean?
Don't teach us that. Like,
the third's off. The third, the Tiyase. The Tiyase teaches you can do more. Big shows to tell you is back. The extra Zov half of the drushes. In other words, the Torah tells you the word Tiyase. Tiyase tells you you can do it other ways. Which one should I choose? So where I choose the one which I don't know what to allocate the extra, what I do know, so I do know what to allocate the extra words. So I know what to allocate it for. I know exactly. Zov to tell you that only Zov needs to be Kikur. Only Zov needs to be Kaftar Perach and Rimoy. And Gavia. So that's what Zov is telling you. But by Miksha, I don't know what to do with extra Miksha. So it must be that Tiyase goes in Zov, not in Miksha. Says the Gemara of maybe we'll say also maybe the fact, the idea, if you dash it, the same pasuk it says you have Kanei Menorah, so maybe you'll tell me only a golden menorah needs to have 7 branches. If it's not golden, maybe not. It's not called a menorah. Menorah is branches. If you have only one, it's called pamoit. Pamoit is basically a candelabra. There is a better word for that in English. It means it's a one candle. It has to be more than one. So how many? How many? You say it's 7 as the Torah told you. Again, Zov. Bo Zov, Bo Miksho. Ada Bo Zov, Ada Bo Miksho. If it's Zov, so then it must be one piece. So how Zov does that be one piece? Now there's a Miksho, the Seiful Lebai also. What's the extra Miksho? Another Miksho that we have. Lebiuti Chatzoitzes. Can I tell you the Chatzoitzes is that? Chatzoitzes are the trumpets. Trumpets that are made out of silver. They don't have to call big shachas. Meaning a big silver, meaning one piece of silver, meaning a cast of silver. A saw meaning grutoris, meaning small pieces, shave it. It's kosher. Shabi talking psul. In other words, the opposite of the menorah. Menorah has to be gold in one piece. You can be lenient on the gold, not on the one piece. But on the chatzotz is the opposite. You can be lenient on the one piece. You can't be lenient on the silver. Why are the metals not good? It says also the word havayo because it says they bring the pasuk over here. Rashi brings it. It says v'hoyu l'cho. So it says hoyu. It has to be that way. Also it says to be one piece. So the Gemara basically tells me all the mixtures that have a menorah when I dash from it, and all the zov that I have when I dash from it, and I have an extra mixture to tell you that it must be one piece when it's made out of gold. Okay. And by the way, just interesting thing, just point over here. It says over here, the chatzaitzos, it says over here it's made out of silver. On the other hand, we have another place that chatzaitzos that are made out of the horn of Adam. So the thing says there's 2 types of chatzaitzos. There's the one that Moshe Rabbeinu was using, or he says for Dairis, there's the one that Kohanim use, and there's the one that the Levi use. The Kohanim are made out of silver. The Levi are made out of a horn of animal. You can do a shayfer, you can do a chatzaitzos. Just brings a right because many times chatzaitzos and shayfer they're interchangeable. So okay, so all right, that's the first piece of the Gemara regarding the drasha miksha. Tony Abun continues the Gemara. Kol hakelim medaf kovches on base. Kol hakelim she'asa Moshe sheirim loi v'ksheirim ledoris. All the kelim Moshe did are usable for all generations. You continue using it. Chatzaitzos that Moshe Rabbeinu did, sheiris loi psulois ledoris. You can use the chatzaitzos for the next generation. Chatzot is my time. Why not? Let's do it for you. It says make for you Aaron. It's for you, not the next generations. There's two ways to understand the lecha. The man domer lecha mishlcha, meaning Moshe Rabbeinu paid for it from his own money. And the man domer give yocha b'shelcha and you write to yourself mishelayim. It's the same chavivus kishbot Moshe Rabbeinu. I want yours more than theirs. But of course, the Hartman is the same Hartman continuing to be there. This goes in. Now you're going to right now, but there's a big machlokes Rashi Ramban. Which was the two Araynis, one going for war and one not, which would have luchos rishonis. If it was one Hartman, two Araynis, and which would stay for the next generations. Here the Gemara says Pashas the Hartman and Moshe continued for the following generations. So maybe also here where it says by chatzot saselacha means you have to pay for it, or I want yours more than the others. Shani also know what I call lecha tracing. It says lecha twice for chatzot. Aselacha v'hoyulecha. So what's the lecha twice? One to tell you what we said before has to be he has to pay for it. The other one is only for your generation. Next generation you have to do a new one. One big piece. Mina zav, mina of gold. Asar shel kesef ksheira, as we said before, you can make it out of the metals. So you made it out of silver, that's okay. Shel butts, shel aver, v'shel gistur. Butts in English is, how do I translate it?
Tin.
Tin.
Tin. Tin.
Yeah, tin. Aver is lead, right? And gistur is a different type of metal, which are a little like cheaper metals. Rabbi Paisel, Rabbi Yehuda Machshir. Can you make it out of these cheaper metals? Shel eitz v'shel etzem, made out of wood, made out of bone, v'shel schuchi, made out of glass. Everybody agrees with the puzzle. Well, what is the reasoning? Really, the discussion over here, the main discussion is regarding the wood. Is wood going to be puzzle? He says wood is puzzle. It's a machlekes. So what is the story over here? Whole dashi call apart. Because it says, as I was going to say in a moment, and it says, so the price for it was made out of metal, because it says Zov, I've called Shemateches. So call about the cloud always teaches you all the things similar. It has to be made out of metal. Umar Sovar, my problem for is Dover Choshuv, I've called Dover Choshuv to be something important. Can't be the cheap metals. Right. Omerlay, so without the mandama holds, it could be any metal. Omerlay, Sami Didoch, take away your bracer from my bracer. I'll give you another bracer. The Tanya Klishore Shosom Shalates. If you have Klishores made out of wood, very poised, very easy, very the masher. So the Al Machlik is regarding wood. He said regarding wood, there's no Machlikis. Everybody agrees it's no good. Because here we have a machlokes if wood is good. As throughout Shas, whenever you have a rule, a detail, a rule, there's two ways how to dash it. Klal prat to klal, or ribu mir to ribu. Without going down to the whole concept behind it, klal prat to klal adds less than ribu mir to ribu. So klal prat to klal means, I should give you an example, you can bring some things that are similar to it. Ribu to ribu, basically you can add anything that's similar to it, even a very far-fetched similarity, only you have to exclude only one thing. So the word says like this, here's the drasha. V'asiso menoiras klal, make a menoir. Zov tohor of gold prat. Mikshot yosa menoira, chazav v'kol. Kol about the kol, you have to kedai and kelena prat, put a little like a prat. I rather for shematekas, of course, shematekas, you can use wood. Basically, the dorish ribu miyuto. V'asiso menoiras, ribu, that's a ribu. Zov tohor miet. Mikshot yosa menoira, chazav ribu. Ribu made ribu, riba koil. Getting everything. My rabbi komili. My miet, so what are you excluding? Miet shecheres. The only thing you're coming to exclude when you do ribu is one far-fetched, is very far away from it. Clay. But wood is good. So you see over here that there are bandam and the old wood is okay. So he told him back, why you say, you're bringing a brisa, so you showed there's a machlekes going wood. How about your brisa that says wood is no good? So why are you relying on the second brisa more than the first brisa? So we're second, I don't think differently. Tanya ain't lo zo meviav shel kesef If it doesn't have gold, keeping silver, Yechezkel, copper, Shabarzel, metal, Vishal Bdil, Vishal Ferris. So it's lead and tin. Basically, the Machshav Shal Eitz. Says you can do wood. Clearly, it says wood. You're not allowed to make a piece of mikdash looking like the eichel. Not allowed to do that. Achstero keneged ulam. Now to make achstero, achstero means 3 walls. The ulam, Taste points out, is really 4 walls, but one wall is almost clearly open. So you're not allowed to create this room that looks like the ulam. The ulam in the base of English. Chotzer keneged azor. You can't make a chotzer the size of the azor. Shulchan keneged shulchan. You can't make a table like the table. Menorah keneged menorah. You can make a menorah out of 5 branches, 6 branches, and 8 branches. You can make a 7-branch menorah. Even other metals. Basically, you can make it out of wood. Because they made a menorah when they didn't have money out of wood. Was not made out of wood. Shibunim shel barzel was made out of steel. Vechipu mibots, and they covered it with lead. His shiur became rich. Asu shekesef, made out of silver. Chazvi shiur became richer. Asu shel. So clearly, you have a machlekes. Can you make it out of wood? So you have a raya. There is a mandama that holds you can make it out of wood. It's a machlekes, but you see there is one sheet that holds you can make it out of wood. This is, by the way, a very important halacha l'maisa that the Poisky bring, that you're now allowed to make a 7-branch candelabra, even if it does not have a design of a menorah. Cannot have a 7-branch candelabra. You learn from this. It doesn't matter what design it is. Can't be 7 branches. Someone who has 5 kids wants to do a menorah, for Shabbos, so you should not do 7. It doesn't matter if it's made out of metal for sure. We don't do it, and you have to be careful with that. There is flying in the air. It's not on the floor. Maybe it could be different because the menorah was stationed on the floor. So maybe then it's okay. What happens is made out of. It's not real candles. It's made out of. You put electric ones. But Meikar you should not make a 7-branch candelabra. Something more about Shmuel Mishrei there is Sabo. Goyiva shel menorah. The height of the menorah is 18 tefachim. Haraglai, and it goes through the height. It's going to go through the design. Haraglai ve'aperach, which means the legs and the first perach. Perach, as the Gemara tells us in a moment, is a certain design that looks like a flower. That is gimel tefachim. That's the first 3 tefachim, the legs and the first flower. Tefachim cholok. Then you have 2 tefachim of the middle branch that is empty. There's no design on it. Then you have 1 tefach that has the 3 different designs the menorah had, which is gavia, kaftor, pech. I'm going to describe it in a moment. So now where are we holding already? We're holding in 6. 2 empty, 8. Then you have the kaftor, which is like a round, and you have 2 branches coming out of it. And it goes up to the height of the menorah. And 1 empty. So where are we holding now? 10. The other 2 branches coming out from the kaftar, from the circle. It goes up to the height of the menorah. And empty cholok. What we're holding in 12. Another one ball that has 2 branches coming out, and goes up to the menorah. So now we are at 13. It's empty. They don't have anything. Finish Terush of Gimel Tfachim, the last 3 Tfachim, Shabam Gimel Gvim Kaftor Beperch. Then you have there in the top of the menorah, you have 3 Gvim and a Kaftor Beperch, which we'll see that all the end of the branches had it. What is Gvim Doimen? What's that design? Kimin Koisis Alexandria, looks like cups. Kaftorim l'mayim doimi. What is a kaftor doimi? Kimit tepuchi akartin. It's circle, looks like an apple. Prochim l'mayim doimi. What the flower looks like? Kimit puchei amudim. It looks like the design of a flower that you have on the pillars. Nibtzu, the Gemara now summarizes all the designs. Gviim is 3 mishnayim. You have 22 gviim. Rashi goes in a little bit to say the cheshbon, but basically you have, we'll get to that in a moment, sorry. Kaftorim echad, sorry, Kaftorim you have 11. Prochim tisha, you have 9 prochim. And gviim me'akviv zeh, Kaftorim me'akviv zeh, Prochim me'akviv zeh. They're all me'akviv, you need to have all of them, you can't have only some of them. Gviim, Kaftorim, Prochim me'akviv zeh, all these designs are me'akviv each other. So gviim is 3 mishtayim. How do you get to 22? Tichtiv me'noyra arbo gviim. So the menorah itself, the middle one, the menorah refers to the middle one. You have 1 on the bottom and 3 on top, that's 4. Then you have 3 for each one of the branches. So 3 times 6 is what? Is 18. So together that's 22. So everybody has his own 4 with the chavtes of on top. Another 18 of the 3 in each branch. I got the 22. Kaftorim nami echad. So how do you get to 11 kaftorim? So kaftorim traded though. There's 2 of it, 1 in the bottom, 1 in the top. That's 2. The shisho, the konim, each branch has 1 because they have the same design on them. So that's 8. The kaftor, where the branches come out of. I said before, the 2 branches come out of kaftor. So 3 other kaftor. Hachadas, that's to get to 11. Ela prochim tisho minolam, where we get the 9 flowers. Prochim traded though, has 2 of its own, 1 on top, 1 on the bottom. The shish the konim, what do you have on top? You have all the other ones. So together that's 6 plus 2 is 8. Where's the 8th one? It says ad yerecha pircha. Tell you there's another perach in the bottom, right above its legs. You have another one over there. Right, you have another perach. So that's the extra one. That's to get the 9. One more line over here, and Omar Rav. We just said 18. He doesn't know it's 9 tefachim. How can you say it's only 9 tefachim? There was a stone in front of the menorah. There's 3 steps in it. In order for the coin to reach the top of the menorah. If it's only 9 tefachim, you don't have to go up the stairs. It's right in front of you. 9 tefachim is very low. Shimiat, that's your name. From the konim, and from when the konim start. Meaning, as we said before, there's 9 tefachim until the konim start, and 9 tefachim from there above. It's really 8 tefachim. The half of the menorah is 9 tefachim. That's what you mean 9 tefachim. Okay, so the design of the menorah went through. Maybe tomorrow I'll bring a picture of it. So what I mention, this will end, is that we said over here that the menorah has the branches coming out of it. There's a big discussion. What is the design of the menorah? Is the menorah circle or straight? If you look, I don't know if you have it there in the article of Mars, but in the Pirush B'Shnais LaRambam, he brings famously that it's straight. That's what the Chabad or the Makli do on straight, because that's his word. That's what the Rama holds. At least that's how they bring the name of the Rama. But you have it goes straight up. And in Rashi, the Mashwah says it goes in a circle. As we are going to see a picture of it later. So the question is, it's interesting. It goes up to the top, but in one way. Does it go like this? Or it goes like that? That's a big discussion, big interesting discussion. The Yukim in the Rashi and the Rambam. So something Be'ez Hashem will address in tomorrow's daf, Bli Neder. Have a wonderful day.